Well, welcome back everyone to Marketing Mondays. Thank you as always for joining us. This week, we're going to dive into destination marketing travel trends for 2024. So we're going to uncover the priorities of travelers and how these shifts are impacting rural tourism. So we'll talk a little bit about inflation and economic factors that impact travel decisions. Is sustainability a deciding factor in destination marketing? How does positioning affect our marketing strategies? Whether AI is becoming a must-have in our marketing efforts? And then what challenges that we can anticipate in 2024? But most importantly, how will we overcome them? So together, we're going to tackle some of these topics, and we will equip you with some innovative ideas to make some small changes that create a big impact on your destination. So before we dive in, just a quick poll, if you could use the chat. Is anyone planning to attend the Visit NC conference March 17th through 19th? Perfect. Well, good. Well, just something to note, several of us from Uplift will also be attending. So please note that on Monday, March 18th, we will not be hosting a Marketing Monday webinar because we're going to be at the conference and getting just entrenched and immersed in all the wonderful Visit NC Tourism Conference items. So just please make a note of that. All right. And then for those of you joining us for the first time, Kara and I are your hosts for Marketing Mondays. Kara is going to be assisting with some thoughts on social media that I'll be presenting, and then also monitoring the chat, and then we'll do a little Q&A at the end. Kara is one of our marketing experts and specialists, and I am PJ Warchansky. I'm the PR manager for Uplift. Last week, we wrapped up our Marketing the Experience series as Kara covered cultural and historical tourism. So we had explored adventure, culinary, special events, family friendly, and now we move on to travel trends. So first, why is it important that we keep up with travel trends for 2024? So as marketing professionals, business entrepreneurs, we are tasked with marketing strategy, communication, branding, promotion, research, customer experience. The list goes on, as you all can relate. So given our extensive range of responsibilities as professionals in marketing, we are significantly impacted by the trends within our industry, as well as external factors. So this might include consumer behavior, technological advancements, economic shifts, our competition, internal infrastructure, whether it's a change in our organizational structure, as well as unforeseen events or crises. So we do this to be able to stay ahead of the curve and remain competitive. And one of the tactics that I've learned over the years is to be responsive to the ebbs and flows of the tourism industry. So over the past, I've invested a fair amount of time in creating marketing plans. However, if my fiscal year is, say, January to December, I'm likely creating my marketing plan in the fall, so fall before, so September or October. And by the time this time of the year that we're in now, March comes around, there could have been a shift in the economy, a rise in travel costs, like gas or airline tickets, or even technology. So some of my strategies that I've come up with may also be impacted by my competition. Maybe there's some local funds or grants that are being offered, or like I said, a change in our team structure, or just something unexpected. So since things are always changing, it's just good to be responsive, to these items like consumer behavior, competition, opportunities. And this enables your audience to view you a little bit more trusting, a little bit more active, more caring. It humanizes that organization because you're responding like a human, you care. So let's look at today's blueprint. So we're going to go through several of the 2024 destination marketing travel trends. So that includes the influence of inflation on travel behavior, the growth of value-based travel, so another impact of the economy. Some wonderful information from Kara on social media being a top source of inspiration. We'll talk a little bit about the trend of sustainable tourism, and then we'll get into the importance of digital convenience or user experience, the importance of being yourself, highlighting your uniqueness for your business or for your region. And then also a little bit about artificial intelligence or AI. We'll cover 5 things that you can start doing today. And then we'll go through some key takeaways and spend a little bit of time answering any questions that you have. So with all of these travel trends, as well as the unexpected and ever evolving travel market, we believe that this will continue to be an exciting year. A recurring theme for today is going to be innovation. So how do we use innovative strategies to overcome obstacles, how we use innovation to meet the demands of our audience, and then how we communicate ethically our innovation to attract more visitors. So let's get started. All right, so the first travel trend is that inflation will influence travel behavior, myself included, as we know that the rising costs of just about everything has impacted our spending power. And so people are traveling shorter distances. They're also reducing the number of trips potentially throughout the year. They are reducing the length of stay. I know my family and I are planning a trip next week, and instead of doing a full week, we're going to do 4 nights. That tends to make it a bit more affordable. It still gives us that excitement to get away without spending quite as much money. And then also similar to number 1, opting for destinations closer to home. And with each of these trends, we're going to kind of present some of the good news and how it impacts rural tourism practitioners and destinations. So for us in rural tourism, the good news is that with people opting for destinations closer to home, it allows us here in North Carolina to target a large audience of potential visitors to our regions, whether it's the Triangle, the Triad, Charlotte area. It's a great audience to be able to target. The next trend we're going to go through is also similar as far as inflation-based, is that about half of travelers are looking for value-based travel. So that's going to continue to grow in popularity. Travelers are looking for affordable lodging. They're also opting for drive destinations versus air travel. So maybe instead of spending as much money flying, think about a family of 5 flying somewhere and also spending money on lodging and everything else that can get pretty expensive. So travelers are looking for drive destinations, and also once they get there, for free or low cost things to do. And then traveling to special events nearby, similar to what we covered a couple of weeks ago, and also what Kara covered in special events marketing experience, that people are always looking for unique special events to be able to travel to. They want to be able to go to things that they can't do anywhere else. And so having so many wonderful opportunities for special events in our counties, I think is fantastic, because that's a growing trend and it's something that we can take advantage of for sure. So the good news for us in the Uplift communities is that many of our partners have low cost lodging. So there's RV sites and camping, local hotels and bed and breakfasts. And drive destinations mean that we have more people staying in the state, and we also have a plethora of low cost activities to offer. Many of our communities have parks, and so there's hiking and lake activities, there's museums and history tours, and like I said, going to special events. So that's good. That can be a good thing for us. So again, thank you to Kara for putting some of this information together. But social media continues to be highly impactful. Social media is a must. Video engagement is king. The growing importance of video content on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok really signifies a key shift in user engagement. And so this provides a visually compelling way to showcase your destination. So it's a good thing for tourism. Videos are more susceptible to becoming viral, and influencers primarily use video content. There's also the rise of the micro-influencer. So they make up for their small followings with higher engagement rates. I remember a long time ago, I had the opportunity to host someone on Instagram with over 1 million followers, and I thought we had the jackpot and it was going to be the greatest thing in the world. But the engagement was actually really low. And so when we saw some of our other micro-influencers come through, it was way more impactful than some of the macro or the full-scale influencers. So why is that good for tourism? Well, micro-influencers are more cost-effective, considered more authentic, and also have can be good for brand alignment. All right, number 3, disappearing content is here to stay. I think as somebody in my mid-career age, I still don't really love this, but I know it happens, like Instagram stories, and it's here to stay. And why is this good for tourism? Well, through creative storytelling, with disappearing content, we can establish a personal connection, maybe create a little bit of fear of missing out, that sense of urgency to check in on a regular basis so don't miss anything. And then AI content is becoming more and more common. We'll talk a little bit more in depth about that, but it can definitely help with creating content. And for tourism partners, it can allow you to ramp up some of your content production. So it's a tool that you can use that would be beneficial for your operation. And then finally, emphasis on mental health and well-being. More brands will incorporate well-being initiatives into their social media marketing strategies. And this could involve creating and promoting uplifting content, forming partnerships. And so why is this good for tourism? Well, it can be great for our mental health, and it is something that we could lean into and be able to showcase our offerings. All right, well, let's move on to sustainable tourism, because this is a really big impact, I think, for a lot of us in such beautiful rural areas. I think it's a good fit, right? So, travelers are definitely becoming more sustainability aware. They're more conscious of the negative impacts of travel and trying to make more sustainable travel decisions. A lot of travelers are looking for that wow factor with sustainability innovation. And there's also an increasing desire to lessen or lower that carbon footprint, support local, avoid overcrowded destinations, all things that we have in our rural areas of North Carolina. According to Forbes Travel online, that 2/3 of travelers admit that climate change is a decisive factor as they consider their vacation plans. So I think for us as rural practitioners, we can look for innovative ways to offer something that promotes and protects our natural resources. It could be something as simple as recycling. I know that a property I worked for last, we put in a couple of refill water stations to help reduce the plastic. And then we also would pick like 1 month out of the year, a lot of times April, because that includes Earth Day, where we donate it like either a percentage or $1 from every reservation, and then use that money to either support some sort of conservation effort. So it can be pretty small, that definitely has a big impact. And as travelers continue to be sustainable aware, I think that's a good thing for us here in rural tourism. All right, next is focusing on the digital user experience. The digital tools, as we all know, a lot of people are on their phones for travel plans. It offers that convenience, it offers personalization, and also flexibility. 80% of travelers consider booking online as one of their top deciding factors. I know if I'm looking at 2 different things and I can go ahead and just take care of it, and it's online, I'm more likely to utilize that business just because it makes things easy. And as busy as we all are, a lot of times that convenience, and you think about Amazon, perfect example. If I can do something in 30 seconds or less, and I can cross something off my list, I know for me as a bit of an OCD person, that's huge. So make it easy. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Ask for an outside opinion, whether it's somebody you know, whether it's somebody in your networking group, to ask about your website, your user experience. A lot of times just a different perspective can really shed light on something that you unintentionally overlook on a regular basis. And then also Google. Is your Google listing up to date? Every day there's approximately 8.5 billion searches on Google. So it's one of those things that you can do pretty easily as far as monitoring that to make sure your information is accurate, and it will definitely pay off. So the good news with digital user experiences is that small efforts can be impactful. You can reduce the copy on your website, since a lot of times people are on their phones anyway. And so they're really all about digesting visual elements anyway. Google updates are intuitive and quick, and there's definitely low-cost options like Wix if you want to use that for a content management system if you're in the process of developing a website. All right, so one of my favorite slides is to be able to celebrate your unique self. It's so important for us to think about positioning our business. Are we the first? Are we um, the most recent? Like, are we the newest? Are we in the best location? What is it about us that stands out from everyone else? We also want to think about giving our visitors a reason to come and stay. What is it about our region or our business that's either unique to North Carolina or a specific audience? Definitely there's some benefits to giving folks enough things to do that they want to spend the night, because then that kind of multiplies the amount of time they're with you, more likely they are to come back, the more money they're going to spend. Also listen and stay present, whether it's through social media or asking for feedback. Listen to your guests, your visitors, your customers. Why do they come? And explore that to take advantage of the reasons why they're coming to see you. So there are a couple examples I wanted to share with you of some small towns who made their mark. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Hamilton, Missouri, but 10 years ago, it really wasn't known for anything. And then the Missouri Star Quilt Company owner started posting videos on how to quilt. And her first few videos garnered like 5 million views. And then all of a sudden they became like the expert on quilting. And now they are considered the Quilt Town USA. They are literally in the middle of the country. People come from all over the country to go to their quilt workshops, but they found that niche and they have taken advantage of that. And now they have kind of made their mark. Mount Airy, North Carolina, known for Andy Griffith's hometown. People want to go to Mayberry. And so it's, the town has embraced that, that interest. And so people can go there and feel like they're stepping back in time. And then kind of a success story with Greensburg, Kansas. They were unfortunately wiped out by a tornado many years ago, and they had the opportunity to either rebuild or just have everybody to kind of take their insurance information or insurance money and move on. Well, they decided that they were going to rebuild, and they became the second city in the U.S. to be entirely powered by wind energy, and the first in the country that is 100%, that has 100% LED street lighting. So I think the good news here is that there's always time to make your mark. People are always looking for fun, innovative things to do. They're looking for places to visit that are unlike anything else. They want to share it. They want to be on social media and be able to share these cool things that they're doing. All right, AI. We hear so much about it. So do we need it? Well, we're gonna talk a little bit about it. I'm still on the fence. So 44% of travelers use AI to research and plan. So that's a pretty big number. On the flip side, it can also lose some of that human side of hospitality and tourism. I know I think for me, that's one of the great things about hospitality and tourism is the personal side, the human side of it. So, but if you are going to kind of use it, whether you want to try out ChatGPT, be thoughtful and intentional with it. I think some possible uses for rural tourism practitioners are, maybe getting some content ideas. You can also use Photoshop AI for graphic design and editing photos. That might save you a ton of time. Social media planning or personalization. I know that myself or Kara, we would be happy to set up just a quick 15-minute experiment to kind of show you some ways that AI can be beneficial in at least generating content ideas. There's definitely an ethical way to use it. You want to make sure that you're utilizing it to be able to provide you with some ideas that would help you save time. So I think the good news is that it's here to stay. If you aren't ready to use it, I think that's okay, but just keep in mind that it is AI is advancing very quickly at this point. And so I think there are some opportunities for tourism practitioners to be able to benefit from. All right, so let's talk briefly about a few things that we can start doing today. I would recommend subscribing to 1 to 3 sources of either industry or interest-specific information. Obviously, Uplift is a great one. We're very concise with the information that we send out. We usually send out a few pieces a month and be able to give you some updates on programming. We want to be able to share some of these trends with you. Visit NC is great. They do a weekly e-newsletter. They also have monthly webinars, and then some of their partnership programs offer some strategy as well. Sojourn is more into hospitality and tourism. And just even since I started putting this presentation together, they've released their 2024 marketing or travel trends, which is great. And then HubSpot, which is more marketing specific. So those are just a couple of examples. Another thing is just to be present on social media, whether that's you or someone on your team, just to be, communicating with your guests, just be present in the sense of, kind of keeping up with what people are responding to, engaging in, to give you some ideas. Performing a brand audit, or you can meet with either myself or Kara over the next 6 months, just to kind of go through and make sure that what your goals are for your business is matching what your communication is telling. It's always good just to make sure that those are in alignment. And then, look at doing one thing this year that addresses sustainable practices in your business, whether it's some extra recycling bins, putting in a water refill station, or potentially contributing to conservation efforts. I think that will go a long way with your guests and visitors. And then host a feedback session, almost like a focus group, to identify, positioning. There's some communication opportunities to get some feedback on some of your either website or some of your communication, just so you keep up with what people, what your guests are going through. It's always good. I know that when I worked for a ranch, we would trade off with our competition because we all got along just fine, where we would go spend the night there and they would spend the night with us, and then we would just give them honest feedback. We wouldn't tell our crew that they were coming. It was almost like a mystery shopper, but it was kind of fun to be able to go and stay at another place and get ideas. And so, just a thought there. Okay, so quickly we'll go through our key takeaways. So travel trends do impact us as destination marketers. It might be consumer behavior, it could be internal or external factors, technology, the economy, our competition. The 2024 trends that we covered is that inflation is impacting travel, that social media continues to be a top inspiration, and that sustainable or eco-friendly practices are a decision maker or factor for travelers. User experience will continue to be important. We need to make sure that we're looking at our positioning to stand out amongst our competition. And then AI, it is progressing and is something that we should definitely consider. We also want to be present and intentional with our efforts. We want to be aware of what's going on in our industry. We want to be aware of what people are doing on social media. We want to have meaningful conversations with them. And then we also want to focus on things to do. We want to, attract our guests to be able to come and find things that they can do and that they want to share on social channels, and keep them engaged with us longer. That's always good. And then don't be afraid to ask for help. Our team here at Uplift is definitely, in your corner. We want to be your cheerleaders. We are your cheerleaders. We want to make sure that if you feel like something is daunting, definitely send us a note. I think that it's great to be able to reach out to us, and we will let you know if we can help. Hopefully we can, and we're always excited to meet with our partners. All right, next step. So you can sign up for the Power of Storytelling here. That's next week's session with Kara. That she's like storytelling expert, so that's great. Make sure you share this with anybody you feel like might benefit from Marketing Mondays. We would love for you to sign up for the great Uplift newsletter. And then, of course, we always appreciate your feedback. That would be most appreciated. And then, follow us, engage with us. Some always great things happening on the Uplift social media channels, compliments of our other host, Kara. And if there aren't any other questions, we hope that you have a wonderful rest of the week. We will plan on seeing you next Monday. And thank you so much for being a part of Uplift. We appreciate it.